Welcome to 40-Year-Old Dad's AICPA. Here, we provide clear, practical guidance and updates you need for your CPA career.
All right, let's talk about a really big shift happening in the accounting world, especially if you're in California. There's a new bill, Assembly Bill 1175, and it's basically rewriting the rulebook for how you become a CPA in the state. So what's actually changing? Let's unpack it. I mean, just think about that for a second. What does it really take? CPAs are the folks we trust to be the guardians of our financial world, for businesses, for the government, for all of us. So yeah, their qualifications are a pretty big deal. And right now in California, those rules are getting their biggest shakeup in years. So if you're thinking about entering the profession, or maybe you're already a CPA looking to practice in the Golden State, you're going to want to pay close attention.
Okay, let's dive right into the heart of it. How exactly is the journey to becoming a CPA being completely redrawn?
For decades, the path has been, pretty tough. The standard wasn't just getting your degree. You also had to rack up a whole bunch of extra coursework. It was called the 150-unit rule, and the idea was to make sure candidates had a really broad education. So let's break down this massive change. The old way, you needed a bachelor's degree, plus those 150 semester units, which, let's be real, usually meant a fifth year of college, and on top of that, 1 year of experience. Now, the new path, which kicks in starting in 2027, still needs that bachelor's degree, but it scraps the 150 units. Instead, you'll need what's called an accounting concentration, basically a deep dive into advanced accounting classes within your normal 4-year degree. But, and this is super important, the experience requirement is doubling from 1 year to 2. So you're probably asking why? Why the big switch? Well, according to the California Board of Accountancy, who actually sponsored this bill, it's all about removing a huge barrier. That extra year of school is expensive, and it was stopping a lot of really promising candidates. The goal now is to open the doors wider to focus on that deep accounting knowledge instead of just logging extra hours in a classroom. But this bill, AB 1175, it's not just about helping new CPAs get started. It's also a total game changer for experienced CPAs from other states who want to come work in California. This is all thanks to a new model that's all about professional mobility. The key phrase you need to know here is practice privilege. It sounds kind of formal, but it's simple. It means if you're a fully qualified CPA in, say, Arizona, you can practice in California without having to jump through a million hoops to get a whole separate California license. And here's the perfect way to think about it. It's just like your driver's license. Your license from one state works in all the others, right? That's the idea behind this CPA equals CPA model. Your professional license should be just as portable, recognizing that the standards for CPAs are high everywhere. Now, this doesn't mean it's a free-for-all. The bill is smart. It recognizes that if you're going to have more flexibility, you also need to make sure consumers are protected. So it's actually giving the California Board of Accountancy, the CBA, more power to step in if another state isn't holding its accountants to the same high standards. So the CBA can now actually look over another state's shoulder, so to speak. They'll be checking things like, how quickly do they respond to complaints? Is their disciplinary history public? Are their requirements comparable to California's? And if another state doesn't measure up, its CPAs will have to go through an extra notification process to practice there. Okay, so we've covered the new way to get your license and the new rules for mobility. Let's tie it all together and get to the bottom line. Why does any of this actually matter to you? Well, this really lays it all out. If you're an aspiring CPA, you've got a path that's potentially faster and definitely less expensive. If you're an out-of-state CPA, you've got way more freedom to work in California. And for the public, you get stronger safeguards. It really seems designed to be a win-win-win. Okay, the big practical question on everyone's mind is probably the timeline. When does all of this actually kick in? Let's look at the dates. The bill officially becomes law on January 1st, 2026. A year later, on January 1st, 2027, that new pathway opens up. Now, here's a really important detail. For 2 full years, from 2027 to 2029, both the old and the new pathways will be available. That gives people a choice during the transition. Then, on January 1st, 2029, the old 150-unit path is gone for good. So, when you put it all together, what does this mean for California's financial future? The state is basically making a bet that by making a CPA license more accessible, it can attract more top-tier talent while still keeping standards incredibly high. The big question is, will that bet pay off? I guess only time will tell.